Anarchism stands for liberation of the human mind from the dominion of religion, the liberation of the human body from the dominion of property, liberation from the shackles and restraint of government. Emma Goldman. Welcome to the Left Library, the home of simple political philosophy. Today, we're diving into Emma Goldman's influential work, Anarchism and Other Essays. Published in 1910, this collection of essays provides a comprehensive look at Goldman's anarchist philosophy and her critiques of societal institutions. Emma Goldman's Anarchism and Other Essays is a foundational text in anarchist literature. Anarchism, according to Goldman, is a philosophy that advocates for a society without coercive authority. No state, no capitalism, no organized religion. For Goldman, true freedom and equality can only be achieved when individuals are liberated from these oppressive structures. Goldman defines anarchism as a philosophy that seeks to eradicate all forms of hierarchy and coercive authority. She argues that true freedom and equality are possible only through the abolition of these structures. Anarchism is not about chaos, but about creating a harmonious order through the free association of individuals. Anarchism, for Goldman, is inherently optimistic about human nature. She believes that people are capable of mutual aid, cooperation, and self-management, without the need for rulers or enforced hierarchies. This idea is rooted in the belief that most human suffering is a result of artificial constraints imposed by authoritarian institutions. Anarchism aims to remove these constraints, allowing for the natural development of human potential. In her work, Goldman is deeply critical of the state, viewing it as an institution that perpetuates violence and oppression. She argues that the state exists to protect the interests of the ruling class and to maintain control over the populace through laws, policing, and military force. In her essay, Anarchism, What It Really Stands For, she details how government authority is inherently corrupt and incapable of providing true justice or equality. The state, according to Goldman, is not a neutral entity, but a mechanism for the maintenance of power by a select few. She points out that the laws created by the state serve the interests of those in power, often at the expense of the broader population. For example, laws against theft protect private property, but do nothing to address the economic conditions that drive people to steal. Instead of justice, the state offers punishment and control. In the Philosophy of Atheism, Goldman critiques religion as a tool of oppression that stifles human thought and creativity. She contends that religious institutions manipulate and control people by promoting submission and obedience. For Goldman, atheism and anarchism are intertwined, as both seek to liberate the human mind from external domination. Religion, according to Goldman, perpetuates a cycle of obedience and submission by promising rewards in an afterlife while justifying suffering and inequality in the present. She criticizes how religious doctrines often uphold patriarchal and authoritarian values, reinforcing the status quo. By advocating for atheism, Goldman argues for the liberation of the human spirit from these ideological chains. Goldman's essay, Trade Unionism and Anarchism, addresses the plight of workers under capitalism. She argues that capitalism exploits labor for profit, creating vast inequalities and suffering. Trade unions, while a step towards solidarity, are often limited by their acceptance of the capitalist framework. Goldman advocates for a revolutionary approach that abolishes the wage system and private property, leading to a society based on mutual aid and voluntary cooperation. Goldman critiques the wage system as a form of modern slavery, where workers sell their labor for less than its true value, enriching the capitalists. She argues that true liberation for workers can only come through direct action and the creation of worker-owned cooperatives and communities that operate on principles of mutual aid and collective ownership. This revolutionary change, according to Goldman, is necessary to dismantle the systemic exploitation inherent in capitalism. Goldman was a pioneering feminist, and her essay, The Traffic in Women, highlights the intersection of gender and economic oppression. She critiques marriage and prostitution as institutions that commodify women, reducing them to property and perpetuating their subjugation. Goldman calls for the liberation of women through both economic and social revolution, emphasizing the importance of sexual and reproductive freedom. Goldman views marriage as a form of economic arrangement that binds women to men in a dependent and often oppressive relationship. She argues that the institution of marriage enforces a patriarchal structure where women are denied autonomy and equality. Similarly, she sees prostitution as a symptom of economic inequality and lack of opportunities for women. To Goldman, the liberation of women is integral to the broader anarchist project of dismantling all forms of hierarchy and domination. In her essay, The Modern School, Goldman advocates for an educational system that fosters critical thinking and creativity rather than rote learning and obedience. She believes that education should be a means of emancipation, encouraging individuals to question authority and think independently. Goldman criticizes traditional education systems for stifling creativity and promoting conformity. She argues that true education should empower individuals to think critically, question societal norms, and develop their own unique potential. The modern school movement, which she supported, sought to create learning environments free from coercion, where children could learn through exploration and self-directed activities. Anarchism is about living without rulers, not without rules. It's the belief that people can self-organize in a way that is fair and just, without the need for a state or coercive institutions. Imagine a community where decisions are made collectively and everyone has a say. There's no boss, no government, just people working together to meet their needs and solve their problems. Goldman's critiques of the state, religion, capitalism, and the patriarchy remain relevant in contemporary discussions about social justice and equality. Her writings continue to inspire anarchists and other activists who seek to dismantle oppressive structures and create a more just and free society. Goldman's emphasis on direct action, mutual aid, and voluntary cooperation as foundations for societal organization resonate with modern movements that challenge systemic inequality and advocate for grassroots, community-based solutions. In Anarchism and Other Essays, Emma Goldman provides a radical vision for a society free from coercive authority and exploitation. Her essays offer a powerful critique of existing institutions and a passionate argument for the possibilities of human freedom and equality through anarchism. Thank you for watching The Left Library. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more simplified insights into political philosophy, political economy, and political science. Let's continue to learn and grow together.